Here's the thing about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, heart,
What's going on, people? This is the Film Review. We are the husband and wife team that review movies, music, culture, and whatever else comes to mind. I'm Crazy D.
I'm Tracy.
And welcome to the Film Review, movies, music, culture, politics, and society film magazine.
This is another great episode of the Film Review. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. Stay tuned. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D. And this is the Film Review. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about. We are the husband and wife team that review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D.
Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. Sunday at 5:30 on Crazon Dion page on Facebook. Live stream. The Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review. What's going on, people? This is another great episode of the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. We are the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D.
I'm Tracy.
And we review culture in movies, music, politics, society. And we're here with another great one. What's going on, Carvel? Thanks for checking in. Again, you're watching the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. And the call-in number tonight, even though it's in the reverse, but you can dial it forward, is 213-943-3358. That's 213-943-3358. So we can take your calls. Listen, what's going on? What's going on this week is some craziness. First, we have the R. Kelly situation.
Right.
We have the Michael Jackson Neverland.
Yep. Hey, Franklin.
After Neverland situation.
Right.
We have the ISIS bride that wants to be let back into the country. We have all kinds of craziness, and while all this is going on, someone is slipping through the news media with different situations that were happening with Harvey Weinstein, right? And he's just slipping through the media with no problem. So where do we start today? We have Jussie Smollett with his 16-count indictment, right? We have R. Kelly with his 10-count indictment, but we have Manafort who conducted and proceeded to do crimes against the United States. And he had 12 counts of crimes against the United States, and he only gets 4 years, and not really 4 years, it's 4 years, it's like 3 years and 11 months. I mean, like, man, I mean, like, what's going on? So, you know,
exactly, Carnell.
We're going to want you to call in 213-943-3358, 213-943-3358, as we are on the hotline and we're taking calls as we talk about this tonight. You know, this is the new format of the Film Review. So let's get started here. What are we going to say today? All right. So Jussie Smollett. You know, the news had been quiet about him for a while. And he was, you know, quiet, but then they came down with the 16-count indictment, right? And do you believe that he did all this so that he could get more money for Empire?
I don't.
To get more of a important role in Empire?
I don't know. I mean, I would hope not. It's just crazy. I mean, this whole social media, more attention type need to be in front of the camera. I call it the Kardashian type. You know, just do anything just for camera time and attention, and just it's sad because his career
was blossoming.
You know, Empire. He was in movie theaters. What film did we see him in recently?
We saw him and he played a historic figure.
Yeah, he did.
And he did a great job playing that historic figure. Right.
Wasn't it in Spike Lee's film?
Yeah, sure
I
was.
think
That's right.
he was in.
He played
Black
Stokely.
Klansman.
He saw Stokely Carmichael. Exactly right, Black Klansman.
Yeah, so
and he did a great job.
There was no need for him to do what he did. Like, those antics were like uncalled for because his career is blossoming. So just that whole have to be in front of the camera and will do anything for attention. It's just crazy. He really got in the way of himself.
He got in the way of himself.
Big time.
My thing is, Taraji P. Henson has been in the war, in the fight. Yeah. You know, I thought that she should have got an Oscar way back for Benjamin Buttons. Right. And I thought that Brad Pitt hasn't even gotten an Oscar. You know, like, she has paid her dues, and now she's just now coming into films and making it and making it happen. And this guy thinks that he should have been further along. You know, there was a plot line in Empire, for those who watch it, right? There was a plot line in Empire where there's a casket at the end. Right. And you're asking, you know, who's in that casket? Right. So was he in fear that possibly his character, when they sat down in the round one day and they sat down in the read room, that it would have been his character in the casket? What's the odds that his character is going to be in the casket now? Great. There's a great chance that... You know, closed casket. That means that he was mangled and massacred and really, really murdered. You know what I mean? If it wasn't his character originally... It probably is right now. Yeah. So, Jussie Smollett. For one thing, we're talking about Jussie Smollett, but... Again, like we said before, this is not a black issue, right? It is what do they call themselves? LGBTQI situation, because he said he was fighting so that LGBTQI could fight back. That's what he said. Okay. Right? He said that. So this is not a black issue, but the reason why we're bringing him up is he's got 16 counts. R. Kelly's got 10 counts. And because he is skin kin, even though he might not necessarily think of himself as skin kin, I don't know, because he was fighting for LGBTQI and not black people per se. Even though he doesn't think so, but he's skin cancer. We will talk about that along with R. Kelly, because here's a man again in Manafort that was doing crimes against the United States, and he only got 3 years and 11 months. 4 years. Let's just round it to 4 years. He got 4 years. He's gonna be back out depending on what happens in District of Columbia. Well, could he get less time for good behavior? I mean, he could, but then there's the verdict that's coming this week in D.C., which they feel is going to be maybe more stricter. Right. So, what do y'all feel about that? Like, do we expect that, you know, we're going to see R. Kelly and Jussie Smollett get more time for something that's a less detrimental crime? Right. Like, crime against America means that you're trying to head to the destruction and the fall of America. I'm surprised he didn't get life. And, and that you're not a patriot. You're not a patriot. You may disagree with what America does, but sabotaging the country. I mean, that's just really. I mean, that's treasonous, right? And your
That
Oh, you
Franklin
only
said
get
just crimes are minor felonies. Exactly.
minor felonies, but he may get more time than a man who was basically trying to commit treason to line his pockets.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real insane. It's craziness.
Yeah.
Now, so we have to see what's happening with Jussie Smollett. But remember now, we're not talking about it necessarily because it's a black situation, but because he's scan Ken, even though he was fighting for the LGBTQI at the time, he's still scan Ken, and we're looking at what's his verdict gonna be, after the indictment and the trial. What's his verdict gonna be?
Franklin says what man crimes are dollars.
Right. Expand upon that. Man crimes are dollars, are money. What do we expect to see out of this?
Yeah.
We want y'all to call up so that we can get y'all on the line. Where's my information? Even though it's backwards, we're gonna take it and put it forwards, but we'll put it reverse for you. But 213-943-3358. That's 213-943-3358. We're taking your calls. You know what I mean? Manafort.
Okay.
His crime is money. That's right. Money and treasonous towards the United States government.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which gets us to this point about Donald Trump. If they don't find anything, they couldn't find anything on Manafort. They said the judge sat there and said that this had nothing to do with collusion with the Russians, right? And he even went on to say in the Manafort trial that the prosecution was trying to come down hard on him because of his association with Trump and wanting him to try to roll on Trump. They said that there was some collusion with Russia. Right, now we're getting to it. So the judge, he's a 70-year-old man himself who can see in Manafort himself.
Right.
But if there's a 70-year-old black man standing up there, can he see himself in that 70-year-old black man? That's the question. Or that 21-year-old black male, or that 17-year-old black male that's coming in, and the judges have discretion on the sentences that they give out.
Right.
There's in that type of judge, they say it's not mandatory sentencing, but discretion of the judge. Okay. And what about the judge that was just convicted and got 21 years for basically selling young black boys up the river, getting paid to basically get for the prison industrial complex?
Wow.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Did y'all hear about that? He just got sentenced to 21 years. So these judges that can have discretion to give out sentences for the prison industrial complex.
Right.
In the 13th Amendment, it says that there will be no slavery other than if the person is duly convicted of a crime. Well, hey, trump up the charges.
So were the people that were funding his campaign, did they have like investments in the industrial prison system? Like, were they backing him? They had to be, huh? He was doing their dirty work. They were giving him money, giving him dollars.
They were backing him,
and he was putting bodies in jail.
Right, and they were putting black bodies in particular.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you see things like that, you say, well, what will Jussie and R. Kelly get?
Right.
For crimes that are less heinous than those that would be, crimes against the United States. Because when you say crimes against the United States, again, that means that you're trying to destroy the United States of America. And no matter how angry black people get at what has been done to them in America, what has been done to ADOS, American descendants of slavery, American descendants of slaves, we are still patriots because we fight forward to push to still get what was rightfully supposed to be ours while still trying to make America stand up to its creed. Right?
Fought in every war. Right?
Fought in every war since the very... Let me take a drink of water. Since Crispus Attucks, right?
Yep.
Crispus Attucks.
Right.
First war, Revolutionary War, caught the bullet. How he was shot first, we'll never know. But hey, we fought in every war ever since the very beginning. Have, you know, try and continue to show that our worth. We built this boy.
Right.
You know, we brought the seeds. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, right? Which gets us to Hoda, the ISIS bride.
Oh.
Right? She went over in 2014 to join the ISIS fighters. She was from Alabama. Now I look at her and she looks like she's black.
See,
I
don't think so.
I can't really tell. I don't know if she's a immigrant or if she was a black person that's ADOS, or if she's a black person that's an immigrant that happened to be in Alabama and it was too much for her to take the racism that she was experiencing in Alabama, so she decided to go over there and fight to kill great white Satan and to destroy America.
Right.
My question is, if America is destroyed, what we're doing? We're waiting for our time, right? So what are we doing? Like, you know, you're gonna let America get destroyed, right? And we're waiting on our time to have our time to be in charge, right? And we're going to just let America just get calamity and destroyed? I don't think so. And most people wouldn't think so, you know, who are true patriots. Because to be a true patriot, again, you don't agree with everything that's happening, but you don't want to see the country destroyed, because where else are you going to go where it would be that great and that opportunity for you, right? Wow, look at this. I'm talking through the speaker. Let me kill that real quick as I'm watching the playback, because you know we're simulcasting on Blog Talk Radio and we're also on Facebook Live right now. And I'm going to do a little bit of sharing there while we go through and we talk about this, right? So my question is, she went over to fight with the ISIS fighters,
Right.
and she believed that ISIS was going to destroy America because it was the caliphate that was supposed to rise. Now we're looking at her picture. Show her picture to the people real quick. Let's put it up there to the screen. This is her picture. Pull back just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. See, right there. We're looking at her picture now. We can't really tell, is she or isn't she, and why wasn't she a Nation of Islam Muslim and not a person that says death to America, right? So we're asking that question right there. Why was she that type of Muslim and not the type of Muslim that's looking to see America do better for its people?
That's the Justice Department, they claim that Muthana was never a U.S. citizen.
Hoda, her first name is Hoda. That's right.
Muthana is her last
name.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She was never, they're saying that she was never a U.S. citizen.
Right, I wasn't going to try to pronounce that last name because I'm not good with those ethnic
They said
names.
that the UN had not notified American authorities that her father was no longer a diplomat until after her birth.
Oh, he was no longer a diplomat. So they were staying in the country past their visa. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. They said that Muthana is not and has never been a U.S. citizen.
And her people are trying to fight for her to still be in the country. Now, my question to that is, do we really want someone in the country that left the country to try to destroy the country? Do we want them back in, bringing that ideology and that rhetoric? And the only reason why you're coming back is because have you seen the reports on CNN, people? Have you seen the reports on CNN about how lowly the ISIS fighters look now? Matter of fact, America has been good at this because, you divide and conquer. So what they did was they separated the men from the women. And the scene that they showed on CNN was, it was windy in the desert, and the women and the babies were crying, and the women were getting loaded onto cattle cars to be taken to a detention camp, and the men were just lined up getting ready to be taken to a detention camp. And so when you're watching this, you're saying the only reason why you came back to America, just my opinion, is because your people didn't really win against America, but you're going to bring back this ideology or this ideology about America being great white Satan and that it needs to be destroyed, and that's like a cancer from the inside. And so I can't really tell what she is. Her father was a diplomat, I guess, so that means that she looks kind of like she's an Ethiopian type, right? Yeah. So that means that her father was a diplomat here, and they overstayed their work visa,
Right.
which makes them here illegally,
Right.
and they should be deported back out of here,
Yeah.
and she should have thought better of going over to another country. That's what I would say, because no matter what, black people, there's all types of people who think different ways. We don't think like a monolith, but it's one thing that you will say: we are some of the most patriotic people that you will ever see, because through it all, we still believe in America, or we will be trying to find some place else to go, right? Unlike immigrants that come from other countries,
Right.
they really don't have any loyalty to their country, or let me say that they aren't willing to fight. Like, see, we were brought here and we came with skill,
Right.
and we helped build this boy, and we have never been given or rewarded our rightful place as being people who actually built this boy, right? So in that aspect of it, we are always fighting, and we fight to make change and make America a better place. That's what we do. People who come from other countries, who come here, who since the Fair Housing Act of 1968, they will know there's immigrants that have our skin color, but are not necessarily acting like our skin can, right? And they come, and because now they don't have to live with us, they can go places. And we talked about Malcolm X, how they talk about Malcolm X and the others. But I said, what if Malcolm X's people were able to live in fair housing and not have to, live in the black community in places that were left behind by whites when they moved out? We have never had a community that was built exclusively for us. We have always moved into what was already existing, right? So what if the people were able to live where they wanted to live? Maybe Malcolm X's people met, mother and father, maybe they have never ever met each other, and Malcolm wouldn't have been who he was, and he wouldn't have been in a situation of having the what was that called, the people who came and broke up the family. Social workers came and broke up the family and claimed that his mother was insane and broke the family up. That probably wouldn't have happened, and then the whole situation wouldn't have happened. And what if Marcus Garvey was able to come?
Right.
And it was Fair Housing Act in 1968 back in 1928. We might not have these things because the immigrants that come today, they don't necessarily believe in Pan-Africanism. Not necessarily. So this goes back to having someone come back to this country that doesn't have the best for the country at heart. This woman, this Holder woman, the ISIS bride. Having her come back is not good for ADOS because this is the country that we built and we expect for the country to be here so that our descendants can continue on and take their rightful place, right? So speaking of her, it's just disgusting. And what do you think? You think that she should be back in the country? Should she come back
now,
in the country
especially
that she
after
loves?
learning that she's not actually a U.S. citizen.
They say
the
that's what Trump's thing is saying, but the father is saying that she is. But how can we trust that when he's no longer a diplomat?
Yeah, but the thing is, you would hope that she's wouldn't be coming back as a double agent, Right. And so,
because what about those guys that were in Michigan, right?
Right.
And they got with the guy, he was an informant, and they said it was entrapment, but they believed and they had got guns and things, and they wound up putting these black dudes in prison for life for believing this ideology, right? And this was over about 10 years ago now, right? When all this was kicking off, with the with Bush in office and all that, more than 12 years ago now, and time is passing. But so you see this, and you see this going on, and the people are trading off. So someone coming back with that type of ideology and that hate towards America, that was a cop out, because real patriots stand in and fight to make their country what they want their country to be. That's what ADOS does.
Right.
They fight to make the country what they want the country to be. Right? So her coming back in, the ISIS bride, I say we don't want the ISIS bride back in, because she's going to bring some negativity. Just my opinion on that. What do you feel? Do you feel she should be back?
No, like I said, she can come back as a double agent. I mean, she left, Franklin says, she left because she wasn't happy with this country, right? So she joined ISIS to fight against this country. And then for her to come back, then you're hoping, okay, she's not going to come back as an agent, and you're hoping that she doesn't come back and blow up anything, and or put lives in jeopardy.
Or try to poison minds of youth, because what would she do? Would she go teach? And she could be poisoning the youth. See, it's one thing to tell the truth, but it's another thing to poison the mind. See, the point of telling the truth is not to destroy this, but to make it better. Ultimately, that's what it is. A patriot may not agree with everything that happens, but they're still a patriot. That's what a patriot is. So black people are some of the most patriotic people, like Colin Kaepernick kneeling on one knee during the Star Spangled. He does not agree, but he doesn't want the country destroyed. Those who talked against him are the ones who are not patriots. You understand? Because if they were patriotic, then they would say these true Americans that built the country should finally get their rightful place in all of this. So no, we don't want her back. She can stay where she's at. We don't really want you back. You're not someone who we can trust. Now, R. Kelly.
So tired of R. Kelly.
Yeah, but Avenatti, he was running for president. Like, middle of last year, he was saying he was going to run for president, right? And then all of a sudden, some Me Too stuff came out on him, this 24-year-old. Now, he's 47.
Right.
Got to tell these guys, you got to stop messing with the young girls. They're just babies. Young, 24 years old. You know, by the new laws, which we're going to begin to that, 26, a parent is responsible for their kid until they're 26, not 18, 26. Is that what we want, though? But these are the new laws. So you're responsible for your kid till 26. She's 24, which means that she shouldn't even have the right to drink because the parents are responsible for the kids until they're 26. And she shouldn't even have the right to drink. He's 47. It's like he's robbing the cradle of his own daughter. So let's talk about Avenatti for a minute before we get to this, because Avenatti came out with, he said he had this new tape of R. Kelly having sex with a minor. Yeah. But this was after this.
Yeah, because Avenatti, he turned over 2 tapes to the prosecutors in Chicago.
Right?
Yeah. One tape, excuse me, it prompted a 10-count indictment against R. Kelly for aggravated sexual abuse. Now, of course, we're all familiar with Gloria Allred.
Right.
And she has her own group of people who are also suing R. Kelly and accusing him of various claims as well regarding sexual abuse.
But what's happening between them two?
But the thing is, well, Avenatti, according to TMZ Online, Avenatti believes that Gloria Allred, a group of clients that she have that are making these claims against R. Kelly, are casting doubt regarding R. Kelly's, the people that they have 2 different groups of people.
Right.
Avenatti has his clients who are suing, and Allred has her clients, and Avenatti is saying that it's been proven that the people that that Allred is bringing to the table, it's been proven that they're not telling the truth, and it's been looked into. And because she's dealing with these people who are lying, as you know, saying that they have like tapes of R. Kelly, it's been investigated. Some of them don't. So he feels that she's making his case look bad because of the type of people she's just pulling in basically from off the street.
So in the middle of all of this
right.
sexual abuse drama with R. Kelly, there is a power struggle between male and female.
Yeah.
Right? And so Avenatti is saying that their validity is shitty.
Yeah, he's saying that Avenatti seems to be casting doubt on the veracity of her clients' claims because they investigated some of her clients' claims and they're not true. So he's saying,
he says allegedly they're not true.
His people, hi Sabrina, his people are legitimately have a case.
What's going on, Sabrina?
Yeah, because based on their case, 10 count indictments against R. Kelly. His people, you know, they have proof. But with Allred, you know.
For those who are looking for a great management and all that, Sabrina is the manager for Treasure, and they do big things, you know what I mean, getting shows and all that. So check out for that. Thanks for checking in and watching. What do you think, Sabrina, about the R. Kelly situation? The allegations against R. Kelly. I'm interested in what your thoughts are because you're in the scene and you see what happens out in the public. So I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are on it. You know, you can either type it in or I invite you to call in. Let me turn this up so I can put the number there so people can see it. It's going to be in reverse for you, but 213-943-3358. 213-943 3358. Oh, that's right. She just put her website up.
Yeah.
We invite all those people to put the website up so they can learn more about the people, right? So, as we go along and as we're looking at it, it's strange because he's saying their validity is shitty.
Right.
But at first he had some kind of Me Too thing going on with this 24-year-old where she said it was some kind of domestic abuse, and it was just enough to kick him out of trying to run for the presidency, right?
Right.
So it kicked him out of that.
Right.
And then next thing you know, he comes up talking about R. Kelly. So that's why you can't trust him. Because I was feeling sorry for Avenatti because he was coming up and he had information about Trump, and then all of a sudden one Democrat says we don't see any validity in this thing, and then the media, the liberal side of the media,
Right.
all of a sudden just shut down on Avenatti, and then these allegations came out on him right afterwards, and then after that, after those allegations, he forgot about doing Trump anymore and turned over and started doing R. Kelly.
Well, he said that, if you just look back over the years at Gloria Allred's body of work, going after black celebrities, Avenatti said, hey, let me jump in on that and make some money too. There's money.
There's money, especially if you have a battery put in your back and they say, look, we will let you drop this. This is just suppositioning.
Right.
There's no necessarily, allegedly or there's no fact to it. It's just looking at what's actually happening and how it's going down, that the person looked like they were turned.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Avenatti comes out with this, right? Yeah. So now there's a 10-count indictment.
Right.
And again, like at the top of the show, like what we were talking about, Manafort gets 4 years for 12 counts of committing crimes against the United States, which would mean that would be almost treasonous.
Right.
And so do we think that R. Kelly will get more time for something that's less detrimental than destroying America?
Right.
Do we think that? It's weird. It's just a weird.
What do you think
time.
about the Gayle King interview with R. Kelly?
Hey, what's going on, Kathy?
Hey, Kathy.
Okay, Gayle King. Let's get on Gayle King for a minute. Let's talk about, because we talked about R. Kelly. Let's wrap this all up in a nice bow.
Because
Gayle King talks to the two females, which are R. Kelly's live-in girlfriends now.
Right.
They are 21 years old.
Yeah, their parents were part of that Lifetime documentary.
They're 21 years old.
R. Kelly.
And thanks for tuning in, Kathy. They're 21 years old and 23 years old.
Right.
Gayle King talks as if they are children.
Yeah.
So what are we saying, that parents are responsible for their kids until they are actually 26 years old? That 18 years old is out the window? That 17 by statutory law, where you could be 17, is out the window, and that people are actually 26 years old? That means that we have to change the whole workforce, because we're saying that young adults are young adults until they're 26 years old. So 18 to 26, you're still young, you're not ready, because President Obama put that in to effect, saying that, the children of families could stay on the parents' insurance until they were 26 years old, which then signaled to schools. I talked to this reverend out here. She's a female reverend, but she works in the schools, social working. And the schools out here, and I'm sure across the country, have adopted and have joined on to that 26 age as saying that children are children until they are 26 years old, and that parents can be handled for their children. No signing up for the military if you are not old enough to understand. That's right. So you can sign up for the military when you're 18. You can vote when you're 18, but you're not old enough to drink till you're 21. But you're not responsible or in any type of comprehension now under Obama's plan until you're 26. That's why you can stay on your parents' insurance until you're 26, right? So now people can be handled. So Gayle King was treating them like they were still children, basically like they had no thought process of their own.
But they're like, what, 20-something?
They're 21 and
right.
23.
Right.
But they haven't quite crossed the new threshold of 26. Right. So that even makes it even worse, because that means that when the parents let the daughter go up on stage and do what she did, when they let them go up on stage and do what they did and get there and talk to R. Kelly and all that, they were severely, they were 10 years, nearly 9 years younger than they needed to be of consensual age by the new laws that are coming down.
So if it's a 10-count indictment on R. Kelly, what's the was it a 10-count indictment on the parents also?
That's right, because this is the bottom line on the whole R. Kelly situation, right? It's the parents' fault. It's no one else's fault.
They played a role.
You know, these weren't children that were living on the street. They didn't have a stable home environment. These were children, in our opinion. Well, I say my opinion, then you'll state yours. In my opinion, that had a mother and father who lived in a stable home situation, that their parents seeing stars in their eyes or seeing cha-ching in their eyes, in my opinion, passed their kids off to a grown man. And we don't know, because the daughters are sitting up there saying that it's a money grab and a money game by the parents. So what can we say?
Well, I'm wondering if, R. Kelly previously said that he has proof, right?
Yes.
So when they do go to court, are they going to have these receipts showing that over the years he has been writing checks to the girls' parents, because that's what the girls are saying also, that it's all about the money. Right. So, I don't know.
I mean, there's just a picture that just came out with one of the people saying that they didn't know R. Kelly, and there they were, hugged up with them and the daughter after a show. So, I mean, these type of things are happening, and it's strange. It's strange. It's stranger than fiction. Then you had Gayle saying, Robert. R. Kelly was crying out. And they were saying, Robert. And that's what, it's the strangest thing about Gayle. Gayle is friends with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that, because that man is so disgusting.
Wait a minute.
Rape charges.
Yeah, let's talk about Harvey Weinstein for a minute.
Over 80 women, have accused Weinstein of sexual harassment and rape charges. Now, the trial date is June 3rd. So I'm confused why Oprah and
Gayle haven't sat down with Harvey.
They're buddy. There's multiple photos all online with them hanging out, smiling and hanging out with Weinstein at all of his events, and supposedly he's friends with what's her name, with Oprah, and then this guy, he's been raping women. Okay, so where's the sit down with him?
Okay, it's strange about Oprah, because when you look at pictures of Oprah posed with different celebrities, let's take the picture of her with Mike, right? Take the picture with her with Mike. Now look at her smile, right? See that smile?
Oh yeah.
Now Look at the smile with her posing with Monique. See that smile? That doesn't seem too,
smile.
in my opinion, it doesn't seem too, it's like I'm just going through the motions.
Sabrina says, well, I believe he had relations with younger girls and women, but I don't believe he, let's see, where is it? He hated them. Held them against their will. Yes, they are children, but these teens have minds of their own, and he is a controller, so these children allow him to control them for their own personal reasons. Their parents are to blame as well. Yeah, I agree.
So let's go back real quick.
100%.
I agree with that because, they're in the movie Hustle and Flow.
Right.
His bottom hole in the picture.
Played by Taraji Henson.
No, it was a white girl.
Hustle and Flow? Well, yeah, she was in it too, but
She
so
was the
was
bottom.
Taraji also, right?
Taraji was previously a prostitute who became his woman.
Oh,
because she had his baby. So the
Okay.
bottom was the white.
With the braids,
Right. And hey, what's going on, Dame? What's going on? Thanks for checking in. She was his bottom, right? And she
Okay.
told him, sometimes I like you
Right.
playing with my mind, but this ain't one of those times. So in other
Right.
words, she was saying, just like what Sabrina said, they allow him to do
Right.
it because they like it.
Right.
And so that's the bottom line on that. They allow him to do it because they like it.
Yeah.
Women, and the way the story is told, it doesn't add up because the women are able to walk and come
Right.
back, walk and come back. But anyway, let's go back to Oprah Winfrey real quick. Look at these pictures real quick, right? So here's Oprah with Michael. The smile seems forced. I mean, just my opinion. Then you have the smile with her and Monique, right? It just seems forced, right? But you get with Harvey.
Nice big
And
smile.
oh my God, her mouth is open. They're
But she
having
said
a
that's
good
her
time.
buddy. He's
Women
her
now,
friend, so.
women now, right here. She's got her hand on his shoulder. Now, it's just the film reviews review on that how come she hasn't sat down with them? You can call in and give your viewpoint, 213-943-3358. The reason why she hasn't done anything is because they are friends. And when you go and look at these photos over the internet, you see that her smile is more contrived with, the black entertainers, and she's more at home with people. So in between the immigrants that are coming here and the people who are the invasion of the Black Body Snatchers, who are cool with the invasion of Black Body Snatchers, in between that and people who believe that ice is colder, money is greener, we're in a desperate situation as far as this is concerned, right? Because there's Oprah, and you go look at those pictures. The pictures, the smiles don't lie.
Right.
Though she was up there with Mike, and then come up and then try to destroy Mike. But at the same time, Gayle, there's pictures of Gayle smiling with Harvey Weinstein also. Meanwhile, while Harvey Weinstein, this past Thursday, they had a preliminary hearing about them trying to dismiss the charges and also try to push the trial back. The trial was supposed to start in May. They did get it kind of pushed back to June, correct? Right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, nothing in the media about it. You have to go and read print media. Rolling Stone had it, right?
Yeah, Rolling Stone.
Right? But that's over the internet, right?
Right. And Vanity Fair magazine had it. And then, matter of fact, if you get a chance, there is a documentary
on Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, and it's called The Reckoning, Hollywood's worst kept secret. And in this documentary, they're like naming names, like major names of women who got ahead in their careers because they allowed Harvey Weinstein to I mean, how low are you do what he wanted to do?
How low are you to be on a boat, as one of the allegations says, and the person goes down to the lower deck of the boat into the area, I guess the bedroom area, and here he comes out in a robe with his manhood, with his tools swinging. Like, how low can you go to the floor?
And this guy is so dirty. Taraji P. Henson mentions in her 2016 memoir titled Around the Way Girl, she spoke on how producer Harvey Weinstein denied her of a huge role. Right? So, yeah, it's real. She was one of the ones who said, no, you're not going to touch me. And he denied her of roles. Right? So, but yeah, in this documentary, they name names, and you're like, wow. Whoa. All of these women let him do whatever he wanted to do just to get these parts. So, yeah, on what was it, Amazon Prime? They said that's
right. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so we'll be covering it, reviewing it.
Yeah, we're going to review it because it's craziness that all of these people are being brought up. Michael is being dragged. Yeah, and he's dead. Yeah, right. R. Kelly is being dragged in the media for allegations that happened back in 1992 to 94. Right. And all of these people are coming up. And if there's anyone, what's up, y'all? What's up, Dane? If there is anyone out there that is ADOS, American descendants of slaves, who don't see what's really going on. If the playing field was fair, then you wouldn't have anything to say. Hey, the playing field is fair. You know, people are getting, Manafort went away for 25 years, like what the discretion of the judge had to teach a lesson to those who will be treasonous against America. If he went away for that long, then we would say, okay, then this is just what's going to happen. But we know that the 13th Amendment was built just to put people who had newly been freed into trumped up situations where they would be again placed in.
Kathy says this is a hard topic to discuss, and I applaud you for talking about this.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's a hard topic to discuss because people won't necessarily look at it, and everyone wants to feel like they can't have their own mind and just talk common sense. There's always been fast women, right? There's always been what they call sporting men, right? There was a woman that was on Facebook that was talking, and she was talking about how everybody's talking about mute R. Kelly, but then make sure you mute your uncles and them old men that you were walking out of school from when you were 14, 15, 16 years old, going with 25-year-old men because you didn't want to go with young boys because they were immature, and you thought that you were more mature, and you need to mute all of them too, right? So as we're talking about this is not something that doesn't go on. Shoot, what about the guy from Mississippi, the Lovings? She was 12.
Oh, I didn't know. Because see, in the movie,
I know they make it seem like it's a romance.
Yeah,
in the movie.
In both movies, both versions, she's an adult.
But she was 12.
Wow.
12.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah, it is rare, Dame. It is rare. Listen, she was 12. This man was grown.
Right.
They have a picture of Seinfeld walking with his 16-year-old girlfriend. She was 16 when they started dating.
Wow.
And they didn't say anything about this. This is Seinfeld during the 90s. And she was 16, not Seinfeld now. Because, that would really be robbing the granddaughter cradle. Right? So you're sitting up here and you're watching this, you're watching Woody Allen. He messed with his own adopted daughter. I mean, like I like Woody Allen movies, and I continue to watch Woody Allen movies because he has a certain sensibility of how he talks about and he displays his hometown. Right. See, from that I learned that there's no disgrace in loving your hometown
Right.
and focusing on your hometown
Right.
when you tell a story.
So
and
that's
what he does.
separating the man from the art. So it's like you listening
That's right.
to R. Kelly, or like with the whole Bill Cosby. Remember when they said they wanted his the Cosby Show to be taken off of television,
Right.
and eventually they put it back on the TV. So like when I'm watching the Cosby Show, I'm seeing Theo. I mean not Theo, but Cliff Huxtable.
That's right.
Like I'm not seeing
not
Bill
seeing
Cosby.
Bill.
And when I see the cartoon Little Bill, I'm not thinking about Bill Cosby. I'm actually looking at the cartoon Little Bill or what is it, Fat Albert. I'm not thinking about Bill Cosby. So
Right.
you just have to, you separate the person from their art. That's just like they haven't taken off all of Harvey Weinstein's productions from television, right?
Too many.
Yeah, so and if you think about it today, all of the actors and actresses, if everyone starts digging into their personal lives, nobody wouldn't be watching anybody's films because of, what they've done, like the whole thing with, what is it, Khloe Kardashian and the Jordan Woods thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. So most people were saying, okay, well, is it payback? Is it karma? Although it's not right. But Khloe got involved with Tristan when he had a fiance and she was pregnant, right?
And she says,
then prior to that, she was friends with Trina, and then she slept with Trina's man. And then prior to that, I mean,
prior to that. So you remember that old saying, that cliche?
How you get them
is how you lose them. How you get them,
right,
is how you lose them, right? And she said something about she's through with black men. I think that's what they.
Oh yeah, that's what they were saying.
She said
online.
but there's only one problem. She hasn't been dealing with black men because black men wouldn't have touched her with a 10-foot pole. She's been dealing with something that looks akin to black men to begin with. N. You understand? So they wouldn't be touching her with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, because a real man, an honorable man wouldn't be
doesn't
messing with these women when they're in relationships.
That's right. That's right. So she has never dealt with a real black man before.
Right. So
that's
it's
right.
not. So, but my point is like, it's, if we start digging up and looking into all of everybody's background, then we wouldn't be watching anybody's film or, but I don't know. It's just frustrating, So I didn't hear them say stop with the Woody Allen films on cable, And
I just don't get Oprah though. It's like how we talked about Ludacris and how she downed Ludacris and downed him for that, but then she upped 50 Cent and Jay-Z, and they were illegal pharmaceutical salesmen.
But the thing is as a journalist, you have to, like what Wendy Williams said, and she said sometimes that's why people have a problem with her. When you're a real journalist, you have to separate the two. And she said there are many of people, people who she like. She's met them. She's been to their homes. But when it's time for her to sit down in that purple chair, she has to tell it like it is. So, and that's what you have to do as a journalism, she said, right?
Which gets us
but
to...
with Oprah as a journalist, I think she should be able to sit down with a Harvey Weinstein.
She should.
And just be objective as the journalist. And then you have to put the friendship aside when you're a journalist, and you have to be professional. So
she probably be subjective. It's objective.
Like in the Neverland interview.
Right. Listen. I just finished watching something on OWN because it was on. And I watched Michael B. Jordan's interview.
Oh, did
she interviewed him.
Okay.
And then after that, they had the interview with Stars Born director, actor.
Okay.
Right?
Bradley Cooper.
Right. So I listened to her interview style with them. And I was like, Michael B. Jordan, you need to watch out because she's getting and asking you questions about your psyche, about your psychological. And those people are listening to those. She was asking questions that were about his psychology. What do you mean about being having world domination, and he went through and he explained it. So those questions were to get into his psyche to understand how he moves, and those who were listening, who are in this mafia, this pedophile mafia, in case some of them might get into trouble. They will know how to go in and work on his psyche to put him into situations where it may be detrimental for him, and then they can use him as a scapegoat while others get away. So he has to be careful, because she was asking him psychological questions. Now,
what about with Bradley Cooper?
Watching it, same thing. She was asking him things that were about his psyche, because sooner or later, one day they want to try to get him. And the way he talks about how Oprah was an experiencer, I've always thought that, in my opinion, Bradley Cooper was passing. And I don't know why I believe that, but it's just the way he conversates about who he listens to and who he reveres and why he does it. And it's a conversation of a person who comes from, to me, a black background of people who were able to pass. And I don't know why I believe that, but mixed lineage can sometimes recognize mixed lineage. And so I believe that he's coming from a situation where his people were passing. And so her getting to his psyche, there was no difference. Now, looking at her interview styles, and within those two interviews, and how she did the After Neverland. First of all, Neverland was not about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, they said that it was about the director was on TV, and he said that it was about the two young men.
Right. See, it was not about Michael Jackson. It was a demo reel for the two little boys. Look up Quo real quick. They need to see this picture. Listen. The one guy, Robertson, I don't even want to pronounce his name correctly.
Right.
He sits up there and says that he was no longer the favorite of Michael Jackson. So him and his mother and all his sister, they had to move into a basically extended stay hotels, right? So they had to move in, and then they did all that, right? And then he was no longer a favorite of Michael Jackson, so they had to get out there and hit it, and he had to get into his own thing. We'll get to that in 1 second. I got to bring it up, but keep that up. Now, he said that he had to get into his own choreography, and he had to do it all on his own. My question is, why did you leave out the fact?
Right.
Show the picture. Why did you leave out the fact that you are a member of the rap group Quo?
Yeah.
Who is this kid?
Right.
Who is this guy? When you look this up, you see who this guy. I'm trying to make it so it's not. There we go. Who is this guy? Right. Now the other guy up there, he hasn't said anything about Michael Jackson at all.
Right.
He's a model actor.
Right.
This guy, who was the choreographer, who said Michael Jackson tried to penetrate him, but he stopped. It's just some real holes in the story.
Right.
He forgot to tell you that he was part of Quo. When Michael Jackson had his record label, MJJ Records,
he didn't mention that at all.
He didn't mention that at all. Like, he had to go out there and really hit it.
Right.
But in between time, so when Michael Jackson was writing that part about, because they kept all the faxes, because back then people faxed and didn't text. For those who don't know what a fax machine was, it was an electronical situation where it went through the telephone lines, and you would pass something through like a printer mechanism, and it would come out on the other side facsimile. That's why it was called a fax. It was a facsimile, a recomposite of what you had originally faxed, right? And it went through the telephone lines. That's what a fax machine was. So they kept all that. He said, "My little one, I can't wait to find out, to hear your rapping."
Right.
Because, show the picture again. Because he was a member of the rap group Quo. And when you look this up, you will see his name.
It's right down
right there at the bottom. What's his name?
His name is Wade Robson.
Yeah. He's a member. We can't really see it because it's. But anyway, Wade Robson was a member of the rap group Quo, produced by Redman, had named producers, kind of like Crisscross before Crisscross.
Right. They were the second act signed to Michael Jackson's Epic Records subsidiary MJJ Music.
So how did this guy...
Brownstone was the first.
Brownstone was the first. We talked about this in the prelim. How did this happen that they would leave out Quo? Because the story wouldn't follow.
Well, how's it that they left out too that the kid that we just showed, Wade, dated Michael Jackson's niece, Brandy
Jackson,
up until the age of 21, and he met her when did she say he met her when he was like,
when they were 11.
Yeah.
In that picture that they show up there, they show it, but they don't tell you that that's Brandy Jackson,
right, in a documentary. So I'm wondering, can they use her image without her permission?
Right?
Maybe she could also.
Yeah, she could. So it's really weird.
How they left certain things out of this documentary.
It doesn't make any sense now that you know. And you can go right there and type in QUO on YouTube, and you can watch their music videos. Matter of fact, listen to the one with Redman. This kid had blonde hair before Eminem had blonde hair.
But I'm wondering, I'm surprised that Oprah didn't bring that up.
Didn't bring it up. This is my point about her interview style now. She was giving leading questions to them, and it was not her regular interview style, right? Which was really flatline. It's really a flatline because, in my opinion, Oprah looked like she had a battery in her back from someone. I don't know. Could it be the pedophile mafia in Hollywood, or that are doing what they do with little boys? And wait a minute.
Well, they said it was the lowest rated documentary.
Yeah. First of all, it was
HBO.
trash because it was the lowest rated because really it was a promo thing. Here's what it is. Dude, obviously, Michael Jackson had a nice attitude. He was kind to these people. It's amazing. That's why when I deal with people, I do high five with women. I shake men's hands. I say, okay, good, brother, move on. We gonna do this, and then we move on. Ain't no close in nothing because you could be kind. Michael Jackson was kind. Now, Michael Jackson was a little over the top. He was a little, in my opinion, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as far as wanting to have kids stay with him because he was Peter Pan and all that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? He never grew up. He had a bad child. That little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. However, he was kind to these people. He even had to do during his film career. Right? Just because you weren't good at it. You weren't good at it, in my opinion. You weren't good at it. And obviously, old boy had to have a bad attitude. The film guy and the Robeson guy had to have bad attitudes because they would still be in the game today. Listen.
I just find it odd that Michael had and even Michael's niece, Brandy Jackson, mentioned how they had their family had a relationship with Wade Robeson's family, right, over the years. And so the thing was odd is that Wade's family, would go on vacation with Michael. And how they had in this documentary, they taped telephone conversations. Like that's odd, kind of like a setup, kind of like
in the future.
In the future, we have proof that we spoke to Michael, or if something happens, and maybe this will be worth something. Whether Michael passed or if we're gonna accuse him or something. Like it's just weird. Like over the years, like this to me, that's just like not normal. Like when I'm on the phone with my friends and family, like I'm not pressing record. Right?
It is basically that he is disqualified. The one dude is disqualified. The Robeson dude, Wade, in my opinion, is disqualified because he left out an inconvenient truth that he was signed to MJJ Records in the rap group Quo. You can go right there to YouTube, type in Quo, and listen to the Redman joint. Right? People forget this group.
I'm shocked about how in the documentary and even in the Oprah interview, it wasn't brought up that Wade dated Michael Jackson's niece for years up until the age of 21. Like, this girl spent time with Wade and his family as well as his house and vice versa. Like, this was left out. Like,
Listen,
it's crazy.
Listen, it goes to show you that people, no matter how kind you are to people, like I said, Michael Jackson was cuckoo for
premeditated.
as
That's
far as
the
that,
word
right?
that I was thinking
Premeditated.
of. You
Listen,
recording all of this stuff.
These two guys can never take this back. They can never take back the stories that they told on this documentary. Though it's the lowest rated documentary HBO has ever had. Oprah Winfrey's interview style was the worst that she has ever done, in my opinion. And the After Neverland was one of the lowest rated post-interview things ever. Thumbs down. They can never take back themselves talking about being molested by Michael Jackson. No one is going to mess with them because they are not credible.
Right.
Bottom line, they are not credible, and no one's gonna mess with them. That's why I do high five and I say, hey, let's do this business. We don't have to hang out. We're gonna do the business, and then let's move it on, because we don't want to hear nothing. Listen, I want to thank those. We're going to take a break real quick. I want to thank those who are purchasing the Black Ice Chronicles Back in Cleveland DVD. For all those, my conversation on my films had to do with Me Too before Me Too came out.
Yeah.
Right? My conversations had to deal with that. So for those who are purchasing it, they're purchasing it off of the Vimeo platform. So I want to give you that real quick as we take this break before we get back to what we're talking about here, right? So this is the picture of the Vimeo platform. You can see it better when you go there, but it's only $2.99 to rent and a little bit more to own your digital library. So go right over to Vimeo, the Black Ice Chronicles Back in Cleveland. That's BLKICE Chronicles, all one word for Black Ice, and Back in Cleveland, the movie. Pick it up. I like to thank those.
And Poison Ivy, she kicks butt.
Yeah, Poison Ivy kicks butt in this piece right here. Yeah. So you have to see it. You know what I'm saying? I have people from Cleveland MCs.
Priscilla,
you know what I'm saying?
Butt.
Priscilla in there. So we had Cleveland MCs, all the people, because I deal with MCs because MCs, memorize lyrics, so they can memorize script very well. So all of these are MCs back there, or actors. I dealt with my people, you know what I'm saying, because Black Ice Chronicles existed before we came out here in Las Vegas. So we did this. So make sure you pick that up, and then make sure you check out the Black Ice Chronicles on the YouTube channel, Crazy on Dion, where you can also check out the film review. So that was a little shameless
and the
plug
two women
there.
in that film before the whole Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
They're kicking butt.
Right? But, speaking of the Me Too movement, the Burke woman, right? We saw her out in...
she was in the audience.
Yeah, she was in the audience, right?
Oh, gosh.
Right? So we saw her in the audience, and I keep looking at that woman, right? And I keep looking at her, I'm like, who... I had to get a little closer. Who was trying to abuse Tarana Burke?
Well, she explained that.
No. Women out. Because we had to research it. Because sometimes people, when you don't research, you can go research it. Some people think that she was actually involved or being sexually harassed at the job, and that was not the case for Tarana Burke. And I looked at her, I said, who would mess with her? I was just trying to look. I'm looking like who? You know what I mean?
Well, luckily no one tried.
No, nobody tried. But you know what happened? She said she was at the job. Obviously, she was, at the job. In my opinion, she probably was a token at the job. And the women that were coming up to her and telling her about sexual abuse at the job were thin little stick figures that were probably Caucasian. And somehow the Me Too movement has shifted from people like predators like Weinstein and have shifted over to making the face of predators black men. And if you are a black woman, I have a question for all women who are ADOS or other women who may not be ADOS but consider themselves black.
Right.
Do you believe that the black man is the only one that is a predator? If you believe that, something is wrong with you. Hey, Nikki. Thanks for checking in.
But you didn't finish that though. Hey.
There. Hey, ADOS. Listen, we're gonna tell you. We'll tell you.
Well, first before you have
let
to
me
wrap
finish
up
my
with
thought.
the Tawana.
Let me finish my thought. Let me
yeah.
finish my thought.
Okay.
If you are a black woman and you say women's rights and not black women's rights, and when I ask the question, do you believe in women's rights or black women's rights? And depending on the answer to that question will tell me where you're going, and will tell me what you believe, and will tell me why you're fixated on going after only black men when there are so many pedophiles and so many sick abusers that are in power positions. I will ask you that question, and if you answer it in one way, I'm gonna say, okay, I see why. ADOS is American Descendants. I made it, she said. I made it. Oh, excuse me. American Descendants of Slaves. American Descendants of Slavery. Right? There's a distinction there. Now, Tawana Burke. BS. Okay, well, yeah, no. Okay, whatever. But anyway, ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. We're trying to get ours. Right? Everybody else go get theirs. We're gonna get ours. Right? We have to. It has to be the way it is. We can't be sitting up here having people coming in, running like what's her face?
Who? Which one?
Old girl who her father came down on her.
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, who says she's black. She's black, but you know she hasn't experienced the black thing because she was up in Canada living the Indian life, and her father came out and said, "Stop talking about you. Stop talking about you." Smoked weed and that you drank and you listened to stuff. Stop doing that. That's an embarrassment to our people in Jamaica who happen to be in the ruling light-skinned class. Another story for another time. Now, so Tawana Burke. Let me get close.
Well, she was inspired.
She was inspired because they were stick figures. And somehow she moved from the stick figures who were Caucasian females being abused to somehow abusing, yes, it is embarrassing, abusing black people. Right? I mean, to saying that black men are the only abusers in the game, right? I mean, it's really ridiculous. Anyone who knows the story of ADOS realizes that black women have always stood on the ground and have always been able to get in and be in places that the black man was not able to be because the European American had his boot on the neck of the black man, and the black woman was pushing through. So for those who didn't know the strength of the black woman in this ADOS situation, you just don't know. You just don't know. So Tawana Burke focusing on black men instead of focusing on Harvey Weinstein. But you know why they're not focusing? Just my opinion. They're not focusing because it's who's putting the battery in their back through monetary contributions. Whoever funds it runs it. Let me tell you something.
Well, first
if you
said,
no, let me finish it. If your hands are out,
right,
and you are a organization that
right,
gets funding by donations,
right.
If your donations primarily come from European Americans,
right,
they may donate to help you on your way,
right,
but one day they will own your way. Those who donate to you to help you make your way, right, will one day own your way, and that is no doubt about it, and that is the story of this. Yeah. And that's the way it is.
After looking it up, just for full circle, what inspired her, what's her name again?
Tawana Burke.
Yeah, so what inspired her was, she said, listening to, different coworkers and listening to different stories from various women about how they had been abused and harassed by men. That's what inspired her with the whole Me Too movement. So she was inspired by stories she heard. So she didn't experience it, but she was definitely inspired. So yeah.
Okay. So they just going after and then the comedian chick. I don't
what comedian?
know. The one that was on the documentary for R. Kelly that had her stand up that no one watched, in my opinion, because I didn't watch it. We didn't.
Oh, the Amanda girl.
Right. Seals.
Okay.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
She just came out and said something about black people are too fast to want to let Jussie Smollett be crucified, right? Yeah. Because of his stance on LGBTQI. Yeah. But you're so fast to want to crucify R. Kelly and not go after the parents. Right. It is the parents' fault, because by law now, children stay on their parents' plan until their insurance plan for health care until they are 26 years old, which means that people who are between 17 and 26 are really not responsible for what they do. They are not fully developed. This came under Obama, and now the school systems have picked it up, and the judicial systems have picked it up, and the parents are responsible for their children until they're 26. That's the way it is. So here he is, they're 21, 23, and they're saying that. Now, R. Kelly went to jail and stayed in jail 3 times this week, right? The girl is a hoe. What girl is a hoe? Listen, what girl is a hoe, Franklin? Like, dang! Dang! Why would you say?
Oh, he must be sorry.
They raised a hoe. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's not the parents' fault. You're saying that it's the girl's fault. It's not the parents' fault. It's the girl's fault. So why is R. Kelly on trial anyway? Because these women are just wild out here. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, he's saying
yes. He's saying that. Wow. I reached the press conference today, and the Gloria people were not clear. Yeah. Okay. Look. So the women. It's the women's fault, right? It's the women's fault. White women. Wait, be clear what you're saying. They said new tapes. They don't even know who it is, right? Because actually, from the reports that I heard, it's the same tape. Abernathy just brought up the same tape from what I'm hearing. Right. They said it's some women that came forward, and then it's a tape, right? Right. So my thing is, Gayle King was sitting up there like she was the invasion of the body snatchers. She said, Robert, right?
I don't know what made him go to Gayle King.
I don't know what made him go on TV.
These
anyway.
People need to
what people don't realize
is yes, but now a new tape came up from a man he just found in his house. Oh my gosh, people are finding tapes of R. Kelly all over Chicago.
So he found a tape in his house, right? He found the tape in his house. He must have been watching that tape, getting off. See, that's what I'm saying.
He probably figured he'd get some money or something.
The first time they
tape
did
down.
R. Kelly, it took him to trial. They said for pornography, but the only pornographers were the ones that were printing it. We've talked about that before, right? So all of a sudden, now they got him up on abuse, right? And they got these women coming out with abuse, and they said he has tapes. R. Kelly says he reached out to Gayle King, right? Because he thinks that Gayle King is for black people, but she is not. Because you know what would have happened? You know, she sure did get Charlie Rose out there fast, though, didn't they? They got Charlie Rose out and said, "You English, get you out of here real fast." Got him out. But anyway, they won't go for Harvey Weinstein versus sports. On and when you keep watching the porn.
It comes on.
Okay. So in other words, R. Kelly was watching sports, or maybe dude was watching sports.
Everyone getting paid.
Everyone getting paid, right?
Franklin keeps saying white man.
I don't know, what are we talking about? But anyway, look. This is hilarious.
There is money to gain.
There's money,
in this economy, Trump in office, everybody's going to be digging up on whoever they can. She said Everton. Yeah.
No, what's Everton? Everyone. Okay.
I mean, between people, tapes on R. Kelly, Michael, whoever else, Bill, whoever, people gonna start pulling everybody out the woodworks.
They keep pulling down
to get
prominent
some money.
Black men. And you won't have any.
Well, I'm quite sure people are going to the media and to the TMZs as well, which is part of the media, but to the news, everybody, you know, as far as having tapes on white artists also, you know, actors and actresses, but they're not giving them, bringing light to it.
Right.
Nikki says black journalists, black media blogs, etc.
That's right. See, what happens is the whole situation with the Michael Jackson post interview after Neverland. Oprah has never sat down and Harvey Weinstein is out. Sit down and interview Harvey Weinstein, but y'all are friends, which, you know, however. But what's different from in the 90s, 80s, 50s, all that, is there's social media, and social media evens the playing field. You can't just say anything, and now they're dragging Oprah for that, because anybody could look at Oprah's interview style on that. Like I said, we talked about Michael B. Jordan's interview that she did and how she was point of psychological breakdown compared to how she did leading questions.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, what's that? What
she said she personally, it went up. She, let's see. Oh, okay. Nikki says, I personally watched the press conference and saw how they switched up
about the tape.
Yeah, and then she said, Harvey knows not to talk. That's what Franklin says. Hey, Lynn. Lynn is watching.
For how I look at Oprah, I think she is looking at it from a victim standpoint.
Yeah, and she says because she was abused. Yeah.
Okay. Which gets me back to the point of what we talked about. About maybe a month ago. She said, I don't agree with it, though. I love Michael and think he's innocent. Yeah, I agree. Me too. See, but what makes me...
This styles...
What's up? Oh, thanks. Listen.
Okay. Franklin says, what he says, by Oprah.
Okay. What I think, what I see about Oprah in the situation is, this is what we talked about a month ago. Right. How can you love someone, an embodiment of someone, if you were abused by that person? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. This is what the whole situation has always been, as people would criticize Oprah about how she always came down on black men.
Nikki says no man sleep with kids, and Lynn says Sean Styles.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's Sean Styles. Okay. I touched those.
Franklin says
boys.
Mike.
You know what?
Franklin, Mike did not touch those little boys. Okay.
They can never take the back. Let's be clear. Let's clear the air on Michael Jackson and the Jackson family, the originals, because
You said the originals.
Because they're second and third generations.
Oh, okay, I thought you was talking about the face work.
No, the originals, right? The second and third generations, because hip hop came in so strong,
right?
They move with the hip hop generations, right? Because hip hop is cool.
Right.
Hip hop is hip. Hip hop is the number one music globally around the world.
Right.
Started right here in Bronx, in the United States, Bronx, New York, right?
Right.
So it is something that they are hit with. So, but go back to the originals, right? Michael Jackson, to me, to be truthful, just watching these documentaries over the years, there, to be truthful about Mike treated black people like second class citizens.
Right.
I mean, the Jackson clan
right.
treated black people, in my opinion,
right.
like second class citizens.
Right.
When it came to being on award shows,
right.
they didn't show up.
Right.
When it came to being, two examples. Michael Jackson, remember the time everybody was waiting, BET Awards.
Oh, yes.
Everybody was waiting.
Right.
Michael Jackson somehow
right.
twists his ankle and now he can't perform. Remember the time we've been waiting to see Michael Jackson on the BET stage months.
Right.
He twists his ankle. He can't perform.
Right.
Now, we could just look at it. Now, it may be who they were around or who were the power base. Unfortunately, now to make it, now you have to be beloved by black people and then move over. The other award show don't want you if you don't go through BET first, right? Even though BET is not owned by black people anymore.
Right.
But it's still a platform where they push black excellence.
Right.
And if you don't come through there, because everyone knows that the BET Awards have been traditionally the best awards, and then you turn on the other awards and they're milk toast, okay?
Right.
And so they bring in those popular artists, but to be popular, you have to make it and be around your black people. Black people have always had an affinity for the Jacksons because of their time with the afros and the big noses and the dark skin.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Facts. But once they start to move around and get around into the upper echelons where anything went, Studio 54, anything went, oh, you're who you are, so you can get away with doing basically anything. Why he was able to have those kids over there and be Peter Pan and all that, right? But all at the same time,
yeah, the A-list don't go on BET, only the C-list go to the BET Awards.
Okay, well, I guess Janet now is C-list.
You know what?
Janet got an award. Janet, women. Janet was on BET Awards, right? And they had the tribute to Janet.
Well, they'll come and get their awards.
Women now. They had the tribute. They didn't come. They had the tribute to Janet. They had, who did they have? They had Sierra dancing. They had Missy Elliott come out, right? Women now. And everybody was sitting, oh, Janet got this new record. We waiting for Janet to come out and dance.
Yeah, Janet, that was a tribute.
No, women now. Janet came out and they played the song. And then Janet comes walking out there. There's only one problem about that exclusivity of the 80s.
Right.
Since social media, there is no exclusivity. It used to be a time when you would try to find out how to write to the artist or try to get the label address. Yeah. Nowadays, there's nothing that is exclusivity. Yeah. You are there. You can talk to the artist right there on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their Twitter, on their Snapchat. You could talk right to them. You can go right into their DMs, right? When Janet Jackson came out doing the old 80s model of promotion, in my opinion, and I have the right to have my opinion. When she came out, it was a big letdown. She playing her music. Everybody in the audience was stunned.
So you're not talking about this album. You're talking about the previous album.
I'm talking about "It Was Good For You," whatever that song
yeah,
was.
That was with J. Cole album. So not this one. It was
and they were looking forward to it because J. Cole was rapping on it. Let's see her and J. Cole do the song together.
Well, she couldn't do all that because wasn't she pregnant? That's probably why she.
No, she wasn't pregnant.
She was pregnant.
Beyonce dances and she's pregnant all the time. And she dances and she does what she does.
Nikki said you'll catch them. Let's see,
but
there
Golden
at the
Globes,
Globes.
They will be there. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So, tell the truth. So, the reason why black people have an affinity for the Jacksons is they remember.
Frankie said, "Tell them, Frankie."
They remember the original. They remember what it was, the original Jacksons, but the Jacksons have treated black people, in my opinion, like second-class citizens since they got into the next level. When he moved from Off the Wall to Thriller, all bets,
Leanne said
it was
she
a
ain't
totally
50.
different thing.
She said she ain't 50. Did you say Janet was 50?
No, I didn't say it. Somebody else must have said it.
Okay.
Let's go back down. Well, let's see what we missed here, because that was a diatribe.
But I think, isn't she 50 though, brother?
I don't know. She's close.
But I don't think the reason why she didn't dance at that time.
No. Janet Jackson is 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Janet Jackson is 50. She's the same age as
Nikki
my sister.
said Janet is older than 50.
Yeah, she's 50.
Okay, but see, you remember
54.
But that album, she was pregnant, so I understand her not dancing at the BET Awards, but she showed up. She didn't
just
dance.
like Michael Jackson twisted his ankle.
Well, Janet was pregnant, so she couldn't.
Beyonce dances. Beyonce falls down the steps, gets back up.
Well, Beyonce is Queen Bee, and not everyone is Queen Bee. So.
And a few years ago, speaking of Janet Jackson, Jam and Lewis was telling her, why don't you just sing and stop dancing? Right? Stop singing and start and let the people dance behind you, and you just sing. That's what James Brown did when he couldn't hit the splits no more. He got all them six. He got the Living in America, and he got them up there dancing. He would go, hey, and he would do his thing. Like like Janet is cool. Janet is an entertainer, but she's not like a bomb singer. Michael Jackson, that's another thing about Michael. No matter how much of the face work and all that, he still looked like his mother. I mean, it's around the eyes,
I don't care what people say with his daughter. To me, and you
can see the eye, you can see the cheekbones, you can see the cheekbones, you can see the chin bones. They are his children.
Yeah, and the Rolling Stone interview in the article, Paris says she's a black woman. She considers herself a black woman.
I remember the This Is It. And Michael Jackson was stressing himself over that, right? He was stressing himself.
Yeah, I think his kids look like him too, Nikki.
They're stressing. That's just people who don't understand mixed lineage. But anyway, look. He was stressing himself over that, right? He couldn't do it, right? But Michael Jackson could sing. It is one of the greatest losses since Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke could just plain out sing. Otis Redding could plain out sing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Michael Jackson could sing. He could have stood up there and let other people dance,
but
and he could have
enjoyed dancing.
He enjoyed dancing, but he's just stressed. It was time for him to do what James Brown did. Do a few little moves, but let the young people get up there and do it, right? And that's another thing about the Leaving Neverland that the Wade dude was talking about.
His body's tired.
He was talking about Michael Jackson had him come over just to watch the choreography, the training for the show, right? He was using him as a choreographer. It's plain and simple. No one has anyone just come to watch. When you at that level, you're going to, not only are you treating people like second class citizens, my opinion, but everyone there has their purpose. And if they are not there for a purpose, they are not around. Okay, so he was not only Quo and had made some money off of Quo, but anyway, that's the point. Doing choreography for Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's just really disastrous, and I don't know why.
Let's take it off Michael Jackson.
I don't know why.
Exactly.
I don't know why Oprah did it, but you know what? Michael Jackson is gonna live on forever.
Oh, people love him.
His music. I mean, anyone who is believing that Michael Jackson did that, and they are, canceling his music, and they say they're not gonna listen to his music anymore. You wanna be with the people that cut the check.
Oh shit! Nikki says Paula follows her on Instagram.
Another legend, right? So, if you want to do that, you are truly, to me, you just want to be with the people.
Michael. People are going to listen to Michael. And
anyone
R. Kelly
who is canceling R. Kelly.
Franklin says the best Mike was the white Mike. No.
Okay, he's being funny. But anyway, any Mike was good.
Right.
Because actually, the Jacksons,
Mike.
women, the Jackson 5 and the Jacksons,
right.
when they came to Jacksons,
right.
they had some funky, pimpish type music that they were putting out that they weren't playing.
Was it pimpish?
They were pimpish. It was pimpish. It was funky. They were putting out funky.
Who was that
music.
Said Michael Jackson has a deep voice? Was that?
Yeah. One minute, we'll get to that. They was putting out funky music, right? Pimpish style funky music, and the reason why it didn't play during the 80s, like how people would go back and listen to the 70s music, is because Michael Jackson was still doing it. He didn't want to be considered an old school artist like LL didn't want to be considered an old school artist, so he didn't go to the old school to get his award, right? Get his necklace, because he felt that he was still relevant, and still wanted to be on TV. Now, Spike Lee says that actually Michael Jackson had a deep voice. He said that he was on the set of one of the videos, and I guess he was directing, and Michael came up to him and said, "What's going on, man?" And then Spike looked around. He said, "Am I being punked or something?" Like, he said, "What's going on, man?" And Spike said he looked. He said he couldn't believe it. He said his voice was deep like Prince's voice. So all of this is a facade to make the very people that later will try to destroy your legacy, to make them feel comfortable around you, because it was 5, 6, 7 kids, and to make the people who would spend the money and cut the checks for their advancement within the music industry, make them feel comfortable. Let's talk like, I don't know.
Even in the documentary on one of the tapes, his voice was
deeper. He was
deeper. He didn't know he was being recorded.
Yeah. So, changing gears, because we have exactly 19 minutes left. We talked about Holder the Bride. Make sure you go back, watch that. There's a couple of shows that you need to be watching, people. We're going to be reviewing them in the future, right? But have you seen Family or Fiance?
Yep.
Right.
On network.
That's
Great
right.
show.
See, we're still watching on, even though Oprah, is Oprah a sharecropper or an owner?
Oh.
And this is my point on this is, once she sold the station, once she sold the network, it became better. Right? I mean, is she a sharecropper or is she an owner? And maybe that's the reason it would answer my question. Because I love Oprah, because Oprah has done a lot of things. But she's just, to me, in my opinion, dead wrong on this one.
I like this.
And that's why she went and did this leading questions on After Neverland. But she's dead wrong in my opinion.
I agree with
that.
Nikki.
Right?
I mean, because she was abused. That's
but can you really love a black man because the black man abused?
Oh, Nikki says now she is an owner of all.
Well, she's the owner again because she sold most of it. I thought during the last summer.
She said before she was under people.
Okay. Family or Fiance?
Yes, that's a great show. And of course, Iyanla Van Zandt, right? Her show.
Okay. Dr. Pimple Popper. Have you seen that show?
I don't watch
You got to see Dr. Pimple Popper. I mean, like, you know, like I always knew that you were supposed to pop your pimples. There was a kid in junior high school that never popped his pimples, and he had a Jerry curl, so the grease was running down in between the bumps, and I would call him Rocky Road. You know what I mean? Because he was.
She
what?
says that Nikki says that she did sell most to Discovery, but she is an owner status. Yeah, Pimple Popper is a gross Dr. Pimple. That's his show.
Listen. And have you seen the Toe Bro?
Oh my God.
I mean, like, they took the brother name, you know, but hey, you know how it is. You know how immigrants, you know, take the thing bro. You know, they take
Toe Bro.
The Toe Bro. Have you seen
That's gross
Toe
too.
Bro? I mean, when you see him pop out the ingrown toe, I mean, incredible. And I have a criticism about a commercial.
Which one?
Have you been seeing the Ultra Dry Skin Vaseline commercial?
Oh.
There's a black woman and she rubs and say, you know, Vaseline makes your skin smooth so that you can have those occasions. So when you see her next, she's a nurse and she's wheeling someone in a gurney into, I guess, the operating room. Actually, it's the delivery room, because you find out later she touches the white woman's hand, and then later they talk about how smooth the skin is, and then she touches the little white baby's hand go around her fingers. And I'm like, this is the same old, you know, commercial. Like, they have another one where the person is in agency of herself.
Oh, Lynn said American Gods is a good show on Stars.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right. There's another commercial where they talk about smoothness, and it's a gymnast, and she has agency of her own. Yeah. She's flipping and that, but here it is, the same old mammy commercial, where it should have been the reverse. We hardly see where there is a white nurse touching the hand of a black patient, right? Yeah. Then to go in and then touch the black baby, and the black baby's hand go around there. Right. We still get the same mammy, same mammy treatment, even in a commercial. No agency of their own to say that this person is doing something on their own that don't have anything to do with being in servitude. So I don't like that commercial. It's certain messages that they still pump to you in commercials. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So Nikki people have to.
You will not see that.
Right. You won't see it. But what I'm saying is there's certain
Franklin says he
tropes.
wants to be on the video.
Okay, certain tropes. You can call in, Franklin. We got 14 minutes left. Call in and we'll put you on over the air. Right?
He says, I was hoping to get in. He says.
Yeah, I mean, you can call. Let me give you the number.
Lynn, oh my gosh, yes. The first season of American Gods
we talked about that.
Is excellent. I am looking forward to the second season of American
943-3358.
Yeah.
Right?
American Gods is a great show. Waiting for season 2. Along with Game of Thrones to start.
So it's really weird. It's like, you know, these same tropes that they keep putting to us, and it goes into your psyche, and you have to be conscious of it. Not stay woke, but be conscious of it and say, hey, this is what's happening. Yeah. Let's change this. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So look. Oh, okay. So we talked about Dr.
Oh, it starts tonight.
Oh, right. Okay. It starts tonight.
American Gods?
Yeah, it starts tonight. Yeah, on Stars. That's right. Okay, so look. There's some movies coming out. People, you know what we do. We review movies. Yeah. Right? So there are a few movies coming out.
Okay, so before we get to the movies really quick, Solange's new CD, When I Get Home, is out. Excellent CD. Right now, the 3 songs that I've been playing a lot. Dreams, My Skin, My Logo, and Sound of Rain, and the rest of the songs on the CD are really, really good too. But right now I'm stuck on those 3, so I just have to. Great CD though. But movie time, go ahead.
Okay. All right, movie time. There's some movies coming out. Around March, Yardie is coming out. It's a Jamaican. It's about Jamaicans selling drugs in America.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could tell it.
Yeah, Franklin said American Soul. That's also good too on BET,
Right.
as well as Boomerang.
There's an independent filmmaker that is coming to the theaters.
Okay.
He has a movie called.
Nikki said, "What's the number again?"
Oh, the number is. Let me put it up again because we're almost running out of time on the broadcast as far as that's concerned. But the number is. Let me get.
While
to
he's
it
looking
again.
for the number, Solange's CD is nice. You get a chance to listen to
Right, listen to it. Look, I'm out of frame here.
it.
213-943-3358. Right? You can call in and get on the line real quick because we have a few minutes on that particular broadcast. Too bad I can't make it longer, but we got 11 minutes so we can get in real quick. Like to hear your voice. Listen. Movies. Bruce is an independent guy. He's doing his thing. Bruce, we're going to see that. He's been going around the country and his film is coming out. Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase. That was a book that came out when we were children, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to see that film.
Right.
The Aftermath. You know, that's another movie. Now, Us is coming.
Right.
March 22nd. Us.
Yeah.
Dumbo
Yeah.
is coming.
Little is
You know, I wonder if they're gonna let through "I be done seen about everything." I didn't take any offense to that. I thought that because actually that was a gospel choir that actually sung that. It was a traveling gospel choir that actually sung that, right?
Right.
Line busy. No, line shouldn't be busy.
Tandy Newton's daughter is starring in Dumbo. She
That's
looks
right.
just like her.
Just like her.
Cute little girl. It's gonna be a good movie. The previews look really good.
No, the line shouldn't be busy. Try again. Let's see. John Wick is coming out, Chapter 3.
Yeah. Halle Berry's gonna be in it.
Then The Intruder. You know, that stars Megan Good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Megan Good and
your
Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy.
Right.
And, you know, it's about a guy who doesn't want to give up the land. that
Dennis
he wrongfully
Quaid. Right.
hired.
And is that Dennis Quaid?
Dennis Quaid, that's right. So, I don't know. Why is the line busy? I'm not seeing any calls come in. That's interesting. Let me use your phone real quick. Let me make a phone call here as we close out on this. This has been a robust episode of the film review as we come down to the last few minutes of the show. I'd like to thank those who chimed in as far as writing in. And we're going to get these phone lines underway. I don't know why the phone is busy because, you know, I don't see. Let me see here. Let me call in myself and see what we see here. Let me see. 213 because the line shouldn't be busy, and if so, I'm going to have to give him a call and say, hey, I need some prorating. Let's see. See what happens. Yeah, it's there. Yes, sir.
Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Right. Here we are. Listen to the show. Yeah. 213-943-3358. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. Right. So we were there. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this has been another robust episode. I think we covered everything. That's right. We talked about Harvey. We talked about his trial. Oh, the last thing we didn't cover
What?
was R. Kelly
Oh, I'm tired
should
of our
definitely be very appreciative of his true friend, whoever that is. He was bailed out twice in within 6 days, within 3 days, and then another 3 days. He was bailed out first for $100,000 bail, and then someone paid his child support over $161,000, paid that off for him.
Right.
What I see here with this is you have the powers that be, which I've been calling, and which many people think is the pedophile mafia from Hollywood, which are covering their tracks by making people like Me Too bring black people in to be the face of pedophilia and abuse, molestation, sexual abuse, all that, right? And what I see is, if this stands true, I think that he may have friends that are kin, skin kin, who may be out to wage the battle monetarily with those who would want to see him his legacy castrated, I would say. Right. And so that's what I see with that. So he should be very happy that he has such friends. Right? So I mean, I appreciate that. So that's about everything.
Oh, well, looking forward to D.L. Hughley's show that's going to be on TV One.
That's right. He has his documentary first on TV One.
Okay.
Then he has his talk show that comes on at 11. It debuts next week, right?
Yeah.
This week coming.
Yeah.
Right? So we like to say again, we like to thank those who are watching and ordering the Black Ice Chronicles Back in Cleveland DVD.
Right.
Well, actually, they're streaming it on Vimeo for $2.99. Would like to thank you, all those who are purchasing that. Believe me, the conversation that I had was Me Too before Me Too.
Right.
And it was a conversation that was reconciliation.
Right.
Reconciliatory.
Right.
Not accusatory.
Right.
And inflammatory. So you can watch that. You can watch the other Black Ice Chronicles. When you deal with the unseen, you often deal with the unforeseen, the Black Ice Chronicles. All of that is up on the YouTube. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, Instagram, all that. Let me show you this. This is the Twitter page. You know, so make sure you follow that. And there's Taraji P. Henson saying that Harvey Weinstein denied her a role. That article is up. You know, we bring the facts when we come, right? And then USA Today has about old girl who wants to be let back in the country. What else? So always remember, you've been watching the film review.
Yep.
Movies, music, culture, politics, and society.
Yep.
We are the husband and wife team. We have been very proud to come to you tonight. Very appreciative of you chiming in. I'm Crazy D.
I'm Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. And we'll see you next time on the Film Review. This is another great episode of the Film Review. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. Stay tuned. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D. And this is the Film Review. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about. We are the husband and wife team that review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D.
Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. Sunday at 5:30 on Crazy on Dion page on Facebook. Live stream. The Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review.